Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Scaleway Sessions. I'm Diego, developer advocate here at Scaleway, joined once again by Eli. How are you, Eli? What are we doing today?
I'm doing well. We're gonna do some live coding. I've got a remote. I've got an instance set up in the Scaleway cloud. I'm SSH'd into it on my terminal and in VS Code, and I'm gonna build something. Hopefully, I think you've got. Have you got the spinny wheel of activities, or are we gonna do something different today?
So, yeah, we usually have this roulette to select at random programming language that we know nothing about or a little bit about. But for this session, we're going to do something special just for you. Because I heard that you like to work your TypeScript skills.
Yes, I've been meaning to pick up. There's a bunch of languages I'd really like to pick up. Like I want to learn some Rust. I want to learn some F sharp, maybe just for to be a little quirky, different. But my JavaScript and TypeScript is non-existent, and I feel like this is a big gap. So I would like to learn some.
That's cool because I come from the JavaScript, well, TypeScript world. So I wanted to make it this challenge a little bit different, a little bit special for both of us to learn something new.
Hmm.
That's why the challenge for today is trying out this new runtime. Well, not new anymore, but a really popular runtime nowadays called Bun. B-U-N.
Ooh, BUN. I have heard of it.
Yes. So we are gonna give that a try,
All
and
right,
hopefully we'll be able to have a web server by the end of this hacking session.
all right.
Okay,
So I'm now Googling. So I've been sharing my screen this whole time. I don't know if you want to pop it up now.
let's go ahead and show your
So
screen
I have
because
just
that's
Googled.
how you begin, right? You Google things.
Absolutely. I've just Googled bun, bun framework specifically because I don't just want loads of like bread and rabbits. So bun, fast all-in-one JavaScript runtime. Cool. So I'm going to go for docs here. Ships as a single executable called bun. How do I install it? So in Linux, unzip. I'm sure we have unzip on our instance on Scaleway instance.
We do
Uh, so on Mac OS Linux, I can just do this, right?
because yeah, you trust
To
the
install. Yeah,
documentation to run arbitrary commands and scripts.
I mean, it's. I'm looking at the URL. It's, if they're doing malware here, I'm not. I'm far from the only victim, right?
Yeah, they earned it.
So
Yeah,
I
they did
have.
a
I'm
great
on my
job. So
little.
yeah,
Do you know what I should do? View, zoom. Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
not that way.
Yeah, yeah. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Go back to being like that. But I do want to make the text a lot larger, I think.
That's always a challenge because it's different on every
View.
single kind of
Make text
app.
bigger. So that's just
Mm.
Command plus. Cool. Oh my gosh, not that big. I didn't like that. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Right, so I've just copied in that curl command. Unzip is required to do.
Wow. Okay, the
Wow,
GPU
I don't.
instances have it. I can
Sorry.
confirm because the GPU instances have unzip.
Interesting. Okay. Get unzip on Linux. Sudo apt get install unzip. Sweet.
So can you tell us a little bit about those instances? What's that? What are we talking about?
So the instance I'm sudo apt get. Oh no, it's not this. It's what am I doing wrong? I put the dash in the wrong place. So you can tell that I haven't been writing,
Yeah.
monkeying around in a terminal for a while. Since honestly, there we go. So that's installing now. So the instance that I'm working on right now. Let me pop up my is this. This is it in the Scaleway terminal. It is just you can sort of see the here. What it is, it's a Type Pro 2S instance. It's running Ubuntu 20.04, and this is just like a very basic. I said I want an instance, and I just clicked through. Right, and
Yeah.
you can see I've got my public IPs, and there's lots of different things like how to get into here. Obviously, I'm using an SSH key to get in, so just that I'm showing this on stream doesn't matter. Nobody can get into this just because I've shown that.
So yeah, for
Fabulous.
folks out there who are not familiar or are used to call this with other names, instances is the way we talk about virtual machines, right?
Yes, of course. Cool. So I've now got unzip, so I'm going to go back to that curl command and see if it likes it. Fantastic. So I now have that. I've installed it. So to get started, quick start. Let's see. Let's write a simple HTTP server. using the bun.serve API. First, create a quick fresh directory. I've actually already done that. It's called streaming. You see it there, streaming. And I actually also already have VS Code up open. I want to close that one. That's my personal one, or rather my local one. And I have that, and I'm in this directory here.
Right. So you're
So
remotely hooking up to that virtual machine from your local instance of VS Code.
exactly, yeah. So I can run bun init. Just to accept the default answer for each prompt on this. Since our entry point is a TypeScript file, bun generates a tsconfig JSON for you. If you're using plain JavaScript, right, but I want to do TypeScript, so that's absolutely fine. And the fact that it's doing that as a default is exactly what I want, in fact. So
Cool.
I just run bun init, which is nice. That's a pretty get started. Bun not found.
You may need to
Oh,
restart
installing it.
your...
Yeah, so
I think it was installed already. Maybe it needs
I
to...
thought it was.
Maybe
Bun
you need to
ships as an
source
executable.
your terminal environment.
Yeah,
Oh, it was supposed to run bash again.
yeah. Well, I did. I just copied that specific. So if you look here, that's exactly what I've done. Added bun bin dot bun dot bin in bash rc.
Oh, to get
To get
started, run
started.
source.
Oh, I have to do that. Always read the docs. Don't be like me. Don't just assume that you don't need to read things. There we go. Right, now I should be able to do bun init.
There it
Fantastic.
is.
And I just hit enter through all of these, right? And that's done. So bun run index.ts, and this is presumably serving the index page. Although
what
let's
do
go
we
back to
have
the quick
there?
start. So once you've done, and paste the following code snippet, which implements a simple HTTP server with bun serve. So you can see that they're using that bit of code there. So I'm making a server, I'm returning the results of this bun serve, and then you can say I'm listening on this server port. So
Right.
if I go back to my console and I go back to my text editor, in my streaming, I've got a load of scaffolding here, right? And this is the file that's in question. And you can see hello via bun there. That's where that's come from. So instead, I replace it with this, and I do that. So, save that, go back to here, and run it. So I'm listening on this. Should I be able to access this from my browser?
That's the big question. Is it exposing it to the outside world?
Well, so if I copy this, or if I have...
The public DNS, yeah?
Yeah, public DNS, copy that, and put that in... I have like 3 different browsers on this computer. It's a disaster. Don't be like me. So that's listening on cloud port 300. Fun! Yeah,
All
you can
right,
see.
it works.
Fun. Amazing. So success. Fantastic. 12 minutes
Yeah.
in, and we're done.
Challenge done.
Great stream. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Great stream. Well done, Diego. Let's wrap up and go home. Right.
That was honestly, yeah, easier
That was
than I
so
expected.
easy.
Yeah.
Hey, I think this might be genuinely that's really satisfying. Just doing that makes me want to go and like tinker around.
Remember when we tried out, what was it, R?
Oh yeah, so my previous instance, I actually ended up creating a new instance for this stream, but when I got started prepping for this, I went back to my original learning in public instance and I opened it up in VS Code and it was like all of the R code was still there and I was just like, oh wow, that's a throwback. It feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a 2.5 hour stream where we couldn't make an HTTP request by the end, right?
Yes,
We
yeah.
found an issue with something.
Cool. I'm now reading this. Bun Connect also
Okay,
executes
good.
scripts from your package, JSON. You can add the following script. So instead of saying bun run index.ts, you can change it to be bun run start. That doesn't seem that useful right now, but I imagine it would be for other purposes in the future. Like you can do much more complex things when it's scripts. So if I go to my package.json, what was it asking me to do? It was asking me to add a new thing called scripts, and then it's all double quoted. I can do here. Nope. scripts. And then here I say I want to call it start. And I am going to follow the naming that it's been using in the docs because otherwise I will confuse myself. So bun run index.ts. And so if we look back at the index.ts, when that's running it, it's essentially setting up this server and using this bun serve thing to make that, to pipe that through to the outside world. Return new response bun. And that is what we saw here.
Yep.
That is just plain HTML, the string bun.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where that's coming from.
Plain text. Yeah.
So if you wanted to do something more complicated, rather than just serve up something that's generated by TypeScript, I imagine you could put a more complicated script in there, right? Maybe?
You're talking about what you serve at the
I'm
end of the
talking about
request?
what the utility is of this adding in scripts here in
Oh,
your
yeah.
package
So
JSON.
the most common scripts are start, test, and build.
Of
usually.
course, yes. Makes
So
sense.
the idea is for you to skip
It's sort of
writing bun
aliasing
run
stuff,
thing.
right?
Exactly. It's an
Yeah.
aliasing.
Cool. So, installing packages. Do you think it's worth installing packages, or shall I get started trying to write some TypeScript?
So yeah, I think let's try it out doing some code first, and then we'll see if we need a new package. So what do you know about TypeScript?
It is. I've thought of it as kind of analogous to the typing module in Python, in that it gives JavaScript more strict typing for better code readability, maintainability, better communication between developers of what the code is actually trying to do.
Yep.
Yeah, all the reasons
That's
that you like typing. Obviously, like I'm a Python guy. I love sort of flexible typing as well, but there are reasons to have stricter typing, and TypeScript is serving that need essentially.
yeah. It's called a superset of JavaScript, and yeah, it's been controversial actually. Not everyone loved it.
Well, I think there's philosophy hour with Eli, but like there's a tendency if somebody's become very proficient at vanilla JavaScript and then something comes along which disrupts that, you're gonna be that's upsetting potentially. It's upsetting the status quo where you are very, very good at a difficult thing.
Yeah, it
But
was
also,
easy. Yeah,
yeah.
I can say that as soon as it became sort of known after the Angular project integrated TypeScript, I loved it. It was amazing being able to have IntelliSense. That was the first instance for me to have a code editor help me out with the code that I was writing. Because before that, there was no help at all. Nothing. Zero.
Right. So I've
It
added
was
bun
different, way
types,
different.
which I imagine is a sort of custom set of type definitions for things that bun uses.
Yep.
So like, this is what a response looks like. This is what this kind of error message looks like. And it's just got, So
Probably.
compiler
Yeah.
options dot types in your tsconfig.json.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So bun
So,
types could be related with the bun serve.
and then that
Function
would
that we
help
have there.
me. So actually, I've already got compiler options. So I just need to add this one line, which actually, if I'd bothered to read the look at the code sample. Oh my gosh, my mouse is having a bad time. If I'd bothered to read this more closely, I would have seen that only this line has the little plus next to it. So good documentation. I'm really
Who's got
liking
time
this.
for that? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just pop it in here at the end. And it needs a comma. Don't worry. Oh no, wait.
There.
It's already there. Never mind. Cool. Wonderful. So that's there. You should be able to reference the bun global in your TypeScript files without seeing errors. Well, we didn't see an error, and that's because it was already there, I guess. Suggested compiler options. Bun supports things. I think all of these are already in here. I think that's what we've just seen. So lib esnext is in there. Yeah, all of this is already in here in the defaults. I think when I clicked through and it was starting the project and just said, just accept the defaults, it was doing all of this. This tsconfig will be generated for you. Wonderful.
Yep.
Ooh, setting a type value for types means that TypeScript will ignore other global type definitions, including lib dom. So if you need to add DOM types into your project, sure. you can do that this way. Cool, that's good to know. I don't think I'll need to access the DOM for anything I'm doing right now, so that's fine. Cool. Okay. What shall I build? Because I can put. So no, that's the wrong thing. I can put. So I've got here my code and my terminal. So in this index, this is just what's being served on this port, essentially. And this return, I could put anything I wanted in that response, right?
So I'm gonna assume that you are returning plain text, right?
Sure.
And maybe a way to return HTML would be to add a header in the response, right? So you can add a header to specify which type of document you're returning.
Right.
So if you go to the browser, maybe you can check the DevTools options.
No, again, that's the wrong one. Stop that. I mean, it's just my Twitter feed. Nobody cares. So, oh my gosh, I need a new Chrome. Right. Tools. Developer tools. Give me them sweet dev tools.
So,
cool.
Yeah. Maybe if you go to network and refresh the page, we will see that
it can't be reached.
You stopped the server.
Yeah, I stopped the server. Let me do that again. Run start. Cool.
Good.
And let me refresh again. Cool. So what am I looking at here?
If you just select the first document, the first element, that will be the document that's being returned.
Okay, so yeah, you can see this is all going to be really small on the stream. Sorry, folks. Full screen our stream, it's fine. Strict origin when cross origin, that's good because this cross origin can introduce vulnerabilities, blah, blah, blah. It accepts, so the request header will accept any of these.
Right.
So that means that the server that I'm making the call into, which is what's running in my terminal, could accept any of these, right?
Your server will accept that, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the response headers, so you know text plain. Sure.
That's the header we'd
like to modify,
yes.
Maybe.
Yes, so maybe we can create a new
response object.
Response header, yeah.
So, package manager, bundler, test runners, the API. Where's the responses?
Maybe
let's have a look at the HTTP server. Bun.serve. Cool. So response. I'm just looking for, yeah, that's fine. Object syntax. Alternate syntax. No, I want to look at I'd like to look at, well, you know what I can do? I can just search response. Write a response to a file with bun. Oh, this is a Node.js thing. Is it?
Node.js compatibility. Yeah.
So it says
it's supposed to be compatible with.
Yeah. So if I'm looking for the response, this is a Node.js thing. So actually,
this so it's a JavaScript thing. Yeah.
Yeah. To construct a response, I don't need to know anything about the TypeScript API specifically. It's just plumbing this through.
Yeah, we can think about, for now, we can think about TypeScript as just adding types to your variables, and that's it. No further changes.
So what I'd like to do here is, what I'm thinking about doing is I'm thinking about creating a new response here, right? So I don't know. I don't even know how to create a new object, right? Like new. So if can I do, okay, I'm just going to start writing things and you're going to tell me if I'm wrong, right?
Or the compiler will do, yeah.
Response. Right, so what's this? I cannot find any name.
That's a tail that indicates that you're coming from the Python world.
Yeah.
Because we need to define the variables, yeah. Either const or let.
Is not callable. Did you mean to include new? That's fine. New response, right? And then I want to say response.body equals. Can I do that?
Yes.
Cannot assign to body because it's a read-only property. So this is where I can learn about it. A readable stream of the body context. So can I? You can create.
You assign the body in the instantiation of the response.
Right. So I have to be able to. I'll do it as part of the constructor. Fine. Okay. Response, body, and then options. Cool. And then the option includes the headers. Right. So an options object, an empty object. So let's see examples. Examples is exactly what I want. My options are const, my blob is that, new response. So this is how I do it. Right. So if I wanted to say, const, oh, and I want this to be outside the function as well. So const body equals new, can I do new string?
You can create a string directly with the quotes. No need for a
Sure.
new
Okay.
object, new instance.
Can I do like the triple quotes to have things on separate lines?
You can, yes. But in this case, it's backwards thick.
Ah. Oh, it's that?
Can't see properly, but seems like no. So it's like the accent thing.
I've got backticks here. This is the thing that makes it do like literal text in Slack.
Yeah, but no. Seems like, well, you're getting an error there, right?
I am.
And I can't see
This expression
that
is,
well.
oh, how many is it? Is it just 2?
Oh yeah, it's one.
Oh, it's
One
just
for
1.
each. Yeah.
And then that lets me do new lines?
All right. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You can write new lines without a problem. Maybe you can zoom in just a little bit.
Yeah. That's probably very
I think
wise.
Command plus. Oh, right. Way different.
Yeah, cool. So Eli's, and then I'm going to do bold. Cool page. And then this is HTML, and we'll know that it's actually doing these things if we get HTML. So
Awesome.
And then const headers equals, and I come back to here and I look at what it's doing, and that's just doing an array. Status 200, status text. Let's just copy that. No, that's Slack. I don't want that either. Oh my god. Cool, fantastic.
In the JavaScript world, we
I
call that
need
an object, JSON
yes.
object.
Cool. New response, and that just says my blob, my options. Cool. And so that I just do body headers. Right. And then can I say return resp here? Or will it not like that it's defined lower down?
So you can do that, but you defined resp and everything that's with it below that.
Yeah.
So
okay, so I put that above.
Yep.
Cool. That's interesting because it means it must be like parsing and compiling this line by line.
From top to bottom.
Yeah.
It makes a previous process where it understands what kind of variables are defined and what kind of variables are used.
Yeah, that's cool. So if I do this, interesting. I think I need to restart my server. I don't think, let me do that again. Run start. And if I do this, and you know what I didn't do? I didn't say this should be HTML. So status text, and what I want to do is I want to look at this and I say, okay, content type. So in my headers, I want to add, right?
Did you receive the header that you were expecting? Super smashing, right?
200 okay. I did not, I don't think.
Looks like it hasn't. So I believe the second argument is an object. I think the third one. Oh, let me check. Where you put headers, it should be an object that contains the header object as well.
Okay. That's so I've done basically. Yeah, so I did essentially exactly that, but instead of my options, it was header.
Oh, right.
Headers.
Yeah. So that's actually not a header, but it's the status of the response. and the
My
status text of the
options.
response.
Right.
So headers
My
will be another
options
option
in that
inside that object.
headers, and then cool. So I go back to here and I add in.
So you can replace that headers variable with options.
Yeah, that's true. And that should be options here. And then headers, I want to say
You could,
content
yeah, you
type
could do that.
is text HTML.
Yep.
And then, right, does this not like, why does it not like options here? Headers string status number is not assignable.
So headers, I believe, should be an array.
Ooh,
'Cause you
okay.
could
Can I
have
see an
many
example of
headers.
headers?
Yes, you will find that on your navigation bar on your left. Not anymore. Oh yeah, there is.
Ah,
And you can actually use a constructor.
yeah. My headers.
Yep.
Headers content type. Okay. New headers. Okay.
Yep.
Oh God, I've got to construct all of this. Okay, fine.
So again, you can do it as a string as well, but it looks, I don't know, nicer.
Yep, that's fine. Right. Const headers equals new. Let's see if I can do that. New headers. And then I want HTML here. Cool. And then headers equals headers.
Actually, nowadays you can skip that column headers and
Yeah.
just call headers. So the second part, headers,
Here.
column headers, you can
Yeah,
just
I can
write
just write
headers
headers.
once. Yep.
Oh, it would help if I could spell. Headers. There we go. So now I'm hoping that it will, on a refresh, it does nothing. I know I need to actually restart the server. So that's fine. Now, yeah, we've got the HTML as we want. Awesome.
We did it.
So I've learned how to do headers.
Congrats.
Right. How do I do something cool with JavaScript? What should I try and build?
That's a great question. So I was preparing a challenge for you, and I was expecting you to take a long time doing the basic
Yeah,
stuff.
that is historically a very
Exactly.
accurate
That's how our
expectation.
sessions go.
Yeah,
But yeah, I haven't been able to prepare it because yeah, it was too
that's all
fast.
right. I mean,
So we have a how's it going from Cosmic Emotion? It's good. How about you?
yeah.
Any challenges in mind? What do you think we should do? What do you think Eli should be doing after this?
I mean, like, is there like a classic JavaScript sort of hello world type thing? Like writing a little script that you click on this and it does that, or I don't know, something to show off the reactivity of JavaScript, and I guess in this case TypeScript.
So, do you want to do client-side JavaScript or server-side?
Client side, I think.
Okay. So, why don't we go the uh, regular way with a to-do app?
Ooh, sure.
That's nice. I think that's a good experiment.
Uh-huh.
So, what do we need for a to-do app?
You need to be able to add things
Yeah,
and check things off.
right?
That's basically it. You need essentially a list with the each item like has a checkbox next to it, and you can add to the list. So
Perfect.
I guess what am I gonna do? I'm gonna make myself a new
So,
file here, and I'm
I
gonna
think that
call that like
maybe well, yeah, but before going into that specific part of the app,
mhm,
why don't we learn how to return a file from the
cool.
server?
So for example, index.html.
Yeah.
Cool. So from here, I'm gonna get rid of this body, or rather, I'm gonna copy paste this body into here, right? And this is actually gonna be okay. We've got like, head is this. Oh god. And then we've got like the body of HTML. It's been a while since I wrote like HTML, right? Cool. So, and this is going to be centered style equals align center. There we go. Now if I do this, what CSS, you can do a line, can't you? Oh, it's text align, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, all inline styles. We are not doing fancy. We are not trying to. Listen. This is really, really basic stuff.
That feels so wrong.
Yep. Anyway, but this is so that this is the title, right? And then, do you know what we do next? Put in loads of breaks. This is good design right here.
It hurts.
Oh, right. And now let me put in another paragraph to be like, what's up? And what I want to do
use
now.
The marquee tag?
Didn't they deprecate marquees? I don't think you can do it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So now serving a cool bun APIs, plugins, bundlers, right? APIs, HTML rewriter. So the server bun serve. So okay. You can do the constant URL as whatever if the URL is that. You can return a response homepage. Can I return something that comes from a file? Let's have a look. HTML file. Guides. Upload files via HTTP. Oh my gosh. Response bun.file. That sounds good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's no, stop.
Hello.
Every time it's like Inception. Cool. So here, instead of having const body, we're going to do bun.file index.html. Right?
Do you need to do /?
Oh, let me have a look.
Nope.
No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see what that does. I mean, it's not giving me any squiggly red lines, and this is VS Code, so it's smart, right? So it should know. I trust it to do all my heavy lifting for me, right?
Yeah.
Unrun start. And if I come here and I refresh, I'm hoping to see, yeah, cool. We got the centered thing. We got the what's up all over here. So
Right.
we are serving HTML from a file.
Cool.
Which this means now I know how to do things like text boxes and lists and whatever. Right?
Yeah, so what's next?
So what's next?
Or what's first?
Body, let me just do style equals margin 100 pixels, just so that we can have like some level of the margin is actually in place here, like just so it's not like what's up. I just pointed with my finger to the screen just so we don't have what's up like all the way over here. Cool. No, again, I keep clicking on the wrong things. So I want to do app HTML.
So you're gonna cheat.
I'm gonna get the HTML, right?
I can help you with that.
Let's have a look. Cool. And I'm gonna get rid of the on-click stuff.
All right.
I'm gonna copy this just because I'm not wasting everyone's time with me mucking around. Cool. So I don't. Fine. Get rid of that. Input, and this is the text box that I was talking about.
Oh, right. So can you command set undo the deletion?
Yep. So
Good.
this was.
Let's just remove the on-click event.
Yep.
Attribute.
Just remove this. Span
Yes.
on click new element.
Yeah.
Now,
can you wrap both? Oh, wait. That's a span. Whoa, no.
Yeah, it's not a button.
No. Sorry, yeah. Get rid of it.
Yeah, I would do a button there, right?
Yes.
So, button. Add a thing.
Cool. Now Now can you wrap
I'm not hitting the gym.
both of the elements the input and the button inside a form element.
So all of this inside a form.
Just the submission things, so the input and the button.
Okay. Yep. Whoop. Oh no. And form ID equals my form, because that seems to be the syntax that this example is using.
Yeah.
My mouse is having such a... I wish I was like a sort of a VI person who did all of their navigation with the with the keyboard, because then I wouldn't have to rely on my... It's not even a Bluetooth, it's a wired mouse. Meet George, that's my brother's name. Yeah, I'll keep that one there. Pay bills, I guess I gotta. I don't need to buy eggs. I do need to read a book. I do need to organize my home office. So all of these are fine, but I'm not going to hit the gym. I got rid of that one.
That's better.
Cool.
That's more realistic.
So I'm just going to refresh and see what this actually looks like. Open up my Chrome. Things what to do. Cool. And I can say make page for this, and I can click this, and it does nothing, right?
It does something.
Ooh, if I click it too much, it doesn't like that at all.
Yeah, so it's assuming that that only button inside your form is a submission button.
It's trying to post to this URL with the body
The
make
URL
page, and I don't
not
want it to do
specified.
that. So instead, that's what the onClick is doing, to say button and then what onClick equals script.
Something.
Add thing.
Yep.
And then I need to write the add thing.
Yeah. We could create a new script file, separate script file, so it's cleaner and we have this JavaScript syntax.
I mean, we have index.ts already, right?
App.js or JS, because then you would need to transpile it, and I'm not sure if Bun will handle it.
Okay.
And in the end, the browser only knows four things: right? JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and WebAssembly.
Yes. I saw a really cool thing recently of a really lightweight Jupyter notebook thing that runs in the browser, and it's using Python compiled to WASM, and it's just like, I love that that's a thing now. Cool. So, app.js. So, how do I write a script? How do I write add thing?
Right. So, similar to Python,
yep.
You will define it with the keyword func, but in this case, you complete it with Ian function.
Because in Python it's def.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
define.
right. What language was I thinking about then?
FN is a func is definitely a thing in various languages. Cool.
I think last week we did one language that had that. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, you define the function, and then you can pass a parameter there. That could be the actual element, so the string.
Yep.
Yep, and that's it, I think. And then you open curly braces. Yep. And then you do something.
And then I do something. So, if I go back to this thing, right? It's got new element. CSS, don't care. Oh no, there's so many things.
Yeah, and it's really messy. So my suggestion would be to handle things from JavaScript instead of defining the handler from your HTML.
Right.
So to do that, you'll need to create a DOM selector.
Cool.
So maybe before even working on that function, you create a selector for the submit button. Or actually for the form. Let's do it that way. I think it's more professional.
However, let me go and have a look at the bun docs and look at the DOM stuff. Do I mean DOM testing? Quick start. Installation. There was something about using the DOM, wasn't there?
Yeah. Bun.
Run a file. Install a package. TypeScript. Here we go. DOM types. Setting a value for types, including lib DOM. I don't need to add DOM types, I think, right? I just need to access the DOM itself. So we should be good?
Well, we are not using TypeScript here, so
Yeah. Okay,
no need for it.
cool.
But
So,
there should be a way to do client-side stuff.
mhm,
Well, let's jump into creating a selector for the form. So
right.
they'll be defining a new variable like form element.
Yep. So
So,
const
yep,
selector
form
or
element.
const form element equals new.
In this case, a selector will be inherited from the document object. So it's document.
I
You can
saw that.
use
Yeah,
document that query selector,
query selector.
and then parentheses, quotes,
Yep.
and the ID of your form. I think
Which
was
was
my
my
form.
form.
Yep. And you can, at the beginning of that string, you can use the hashtag or number sign.
Like that?
Yeah, that means this is an
Yes,
ID.
yes, cool.
Yes.
I have seen that in, like, you see that sometimes at the end of URLs, like if you're hard linking to somewhere within a page.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Then you have the form element reference. Now you can tap into the events that are triggered by this form element. So you can do form element that add event listener. So you can do it outside that function.
Yep. So.
Yep. And the event listener will be submit. So that's a string.
Okay.
And then you pass in the function that you want to be called. So you could be add thing. Exactly. Yep.
Right. Cool.
Now, add thing will receive an event instead of the string.
Cool. And the event, like body or like there's going to be a payload there, right?
There's going to be a lot of things. So maybe use console.log to see the event.
Sure.
And let's see how it works.
Oh, no.
If it works.
Cool. So. And is this, I need to include, right?
And can you get rid of the unclick thing?
Yeah. What I also need to do is I need to make this app.js part of here, right?
Yes.
So,
exactly.
So that is script. Source equals it's just gonna be app.js, right?
Yes.
And let me actually do. And do I need to put anything in between these tags?
Nothing.
Wonderful.
And since you're at it, maybe you can add the HTML tag surrounding everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot I should do that.
Pro tip, you can also use exclamation mark, and then it will scaffold the basic HTML structure.
So I can do what, that? Oh.
Like the exclamation mark only.
Just instead of HTML?
Instead of everything, at the beginning you could have just typed the exclamation mark and then tap, and it will have created everything. Just pro tip for next time.
Pro tips.
Yeah. All right. You shouldn't need to do that because it's the static file that changed.
Cool. And I want this. I want to come back to here.
Okay.
Cool. And you can see it's got app.js has been served.
Cool.
So added a thing. Add a thing. And it's still handling that as if it were a post, right?
So
but we've added a listener, so I want to come back here and see what it's put on the console log. It hasn't put anything on the console log.
It should put it on your browser's console. Because now you're on the client realm.
Yes, and it was a server before.
Yep.
Right. So, where's my
the second option?
Thing? Console. There we go.
And since it changed the page, that's probably how you lost it. So maybe try again. Yeah, something happened there. But we can fix that. If you go back to your script, there's one nifty function that we can call on the first line before the console log, and that is called prevent default. So event that prevent default.
Ah.
And that will, as you can imagine, is a function, so you need to pass in the...
Just nothing.
Yep.
Cool. And now, if I go back to this,
Yeah.
and I say add a thing.
I think we needed to refresh the
I do need
page.
to refresh, yep. Ooh.
Oh, you broke it.
I broke it. I wonder what's happened. Let me have a look at here. Doesn't say anything about what I broke. What have I done?
What have you done?
Nothing of here should be broken, right? Maybe let me just restart.
Sure, yeah.
Nope, that's the wrong thing. Okay, cool.
It's back.
Added a thing. Add a thing. Okay. It still is running through. Did I save properly? I saved my app.js. Event prevent default. Let me Google that and make sure I'm doing that right.
We can simplify things. Because I believe that, well...
That looks right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How can we simplify things?
So can you check the HTML one more time, just to make sure that we are not submitting... No, we are not submitting form. Okay, go back to the app.js file. And replace on line 3.
Yep.
Replace the add thing with function. And then just call parenthesis event. Then outside of that, open curly braces. And let's move the code from add thing to there.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. And you think I shouldn't need to reload, right?
Well,
I should
the
refresh.
page, not the server, but the page, yes.
It doesn't like that at all.
Why? Can you go to Elements, the first tab? Body's there. The head is there.
It's just returning me nothing.
Yeah. Weird.
That's so weird. Well, if we had more time, I'd figure out how to debug it, but it's fine. I'll just restart the server. Then it comes back up. Cool. Added a thing. Hit that. Well, first go to the console. Hit that.
And
it
then
isn't doing it, man. It isn't doing it.
Should navigate.
Huh? I don't think it's doing anything with this app.js at all.
All right. So do a console log outside everything.
Yes, that will tell us, won't it?
Well, it seems like we are not going to use a stable diffusion, so I'm going to kill that instance.
Right, cool. So now I'm going to restart my server just in case. I know it should be serving that file. Right, cool. And if I go back to here, right, it's not doing the console log at all. And when it loaded the app.js, it should have done that, right?
Go to your network tab then.
It says it is running it.
And then click on preview. There's nothing. Aha. Yeah. Huh. That's weird.
That is weird.
Maybe there's a bound thing.
Maybe.
That's blocking other files, or files other than the one that you specified, because you specified index.html. Or we can just move everything into the HTML file, and that should work well.
Yeah. Let's do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then figure out what's
You can
going on.
delete. Yeah, exactly. Good. And create a script.
What is it? It's script.
Yeah.
And it's
And
I just do this.
yeah, and put it inside HTML. So move it one line up.
Oh
Everything.
yeah, sure. Right. Now let's see what happens. And I should be able to refresh here. Yeah, and you can see it's why is it just returning me blank HTML? That's so
Can you show
strange.
your console? It's weird.
That is weird. That's so weird.
Like a bun thing.
Hmm?
Looks like a bun thing, but that's
Okay.
probably because we haven't read the documentation
So if
and
I
we are
go to the
just
console,
guessing.
here we go. We've got the event.
So we are preventing the default action.
Exactly. That's how I knew it had worked, because it didn't go to
Good.
cool.
Good. Now we can get the information from the input.
Source
So
element. Form my form. Submitter is a button. Sure. Target is that. Submit event. I'm looking for the word added.
yeah, so it will be there, but deep inside a tree of elements. But there's an easy, or well, sort of easy way to
Target.
get that,
Input my
and that's using
inputs.
form data.
Yeah, I'm just my input. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh,
My
yeah.
goodness. Okay, fine.
Welcome to the client side.
Yeah.
Right. So inside the listener function,
Mhm.
so line 20 after line 29,
Mhm.
create a new variable called form data. And that's a new form data. Yeah.
The new form data, like that, or is it going to be a capital?
Uppercase, yeah. And then you pass in the form. So remember, you had the form element
Yes,
or
and
even the target.
yeah, cool.
Cool. Now let's send form data to console. So console.log form data.
Oh my gosh, my mouse. No, not my Spotify. You can see what I've been listening to. No, that's illegal. My mouse is really having a bad time. I don't know what's going on with it.
He wants to show your license, your
Yeah,
music
exactly.
license.
And then instead of logging the event, I can log the form data.
Yep.
Just because why I don't need the event anymore. Cool. So restarting it every time at this point
That's
because I
so
feel like it's.
weird.
I know, right? Form data. Prototype form data. Append. Entries. Length entries. Nope, that's not what I want. Values.
Exactly. So that's the following element that you need to query.
But where is the
So you
input
need to,
though?
those are functions that you need to call.
Okay, get. Oh, right.
So for get, for instance, you'll need to pass in the name of the input element. So
Right. So if I come back to here. So form data dot get
yeah,
from my input.
and that's the name. So you don't need to pass in the number sign.
Okay.
Just create a new attribute on the input element called name, and use that string.
Okay. So name equals my input also.
Yeah.
Then what's the ID for?
The ID is mostly used for selectors
Okay.
and CSS. Well, you shouldn't use it heavily on CSS, but yeah, mostly
Yeah,
for
it's weird.
selectors.
On a refresh, it just takes away all my HTML. That's so strange. Okay.
There we go.
And it just says added.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that's how I get the thing.
Yes.
Cool.
So people mostly create a selector for the input, but when you have a form with, I don't know, 1,000 fields, then you need to create a selector for every single field,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense because you can actually target the parent, which is the form, and ask the parent to give you the children information.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Pro tip.
I think we should probably call it here.
Yeah.
I think that's a very successful. I managed to
So
get something working in an hour.
we almost did it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We just needed to add it to the list, but yeah,
Right.
that's just basically writing a new element inside the UL element that you have there.
Yeah.
That's
From
it.
there, I think I could figure it out. Like, yeah. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back to be able to actually see you because I've not seen you for this entire stream. Normally, we're looking at each other's faces. Right. So, if I do this, and if I stop sharing my screen, yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that was a successful stream. We managed to actually build something, get it online.
Yeah.
Other people could have been looking at it while we were building it, although not much to see because no CSS. Well, no, that's not true. There was some CSS. I centered the title,
You centered it.
and I put
Yeah.
a margin on the entire body. So
Yeah.
not quite bare bones. But yeah, that's cool.
But we learned bun. Learned that bun is actually cool. I think it's worth having a look at it. And we learned a couple pro tips from the client-side world. So yeah, I would also call it a successful stream.
Yeah, I'm really one thing I'm looking forward to doing is I would like to stand up my own personal website, just like a lot of static files, like have a blog essentially there, and also have a little feedback form essentially on that. And now I'm like, maybe I can just do it with static files, and it calls, it sends out to a little API endpoint on a different server that I have set up somewhere, and that server doesn't need to be fancy at all.
Yeah, could
But
be a
now
cloud
I
function.
have slightly more of an idea about how I would do that thing, and maybe I'll do it in Bun because it's very, like, the docs look so good, and being able to get off the ground within 10 minutes is a pretty yeah, that's a good sign.
It was a good developer experience, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. So we had a good session. We hope you also had fun watching us do weird stuff while coding. And we hope to see you for our next episode.
Yeah, thank you so much for everybody who showed up and commented. Diego, do we have anything to plug?
Nothing, just
I was going to say Scaleway has its brainstorm conference coming out. We publicized that. That's on November the 17th. I don't know how many of our listeners are from the Paris area, but it will be in person in Paris. So that's something to look out for. Scaleway's brainstorm conference. It's going to be all about AI. Not that we talked about AI really at all today, but that's one thing. And I'm going to be at PyCon UK next week. I'm one of the organisers. I won't be speaking, but I'll be there. So if anybody who's watching this happens to be there as well, come and say hi. That'll be lovely.
Well, since you are plugging things that come in the future, yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, we will be doing a webinar in Spanish because, what do you know? I speak Spanish. That's my native language. So we'll be doing a Scaleway webinar. Be on the look for that. Check out our socials for the link. That will be on the 28th of this month.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing that, like, you are doing because you speak Spanish, and, like, that's a skill you can offer. So it's super cool that you're doing that. Awesome. Well, that wraps us up for this week. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. We'll catch you next week. Well, some number of us will catch you next week. Again, I'm at PyCon, so who knows what's going to happen. Exactly. You will be caught at some point by us. Fantastic. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
See ya.